I want everyone who is viewing this video to immediately stop what they are doing. Put your phones on silence, shut off any open tabs on your browser, and just sit down to listen to me. The ultimate fantasy scenario has just mathematically come true, and I am sitting here in my studio looking at the official tournament draw for the approaching quarterfinals. I am getting real goosebumps. The major sports networks will attempt to sell you a very basic, very lazy, and entirely contrived story when they begin airing their highly polished, generic television marketing packages for this showdown. Tomorrow morning, you'll see all the YouTube thumbnails that frame this as a typical David versus Goliath scenario, complete with neon lettering and frightened expressions. They are going to tell you that Coco Gauff, the reigning American superstar, the Grand Slam champion, the absolute face of modern athletic power, is walking into this quarterfinal as the heavy, undisputed favorite against the rising gritty underdog. The mainstream media is utterly afraid to tell you the truth. I tell you now, as someone who spends hours poring over the raw, unfiltered, totally impartial statistics of every single match these two women have played. In actuality, we are examining more than simply a tennis match. Two statistical paradoxes that are diametrically opposed are going to collide in a spectacular, violent, and horrifying way. And from the first time the ball hits the baseline, it will be a pure bloodbath. This is where the immovable object meets the irresistible force. And I'll explain in detail why this particular matchup will totally shut down the tennis community. I need to take a moment to talk directly to the folks who really made this happen, the people who saw this coming from a mile away, before we get into the tactical analysis of why this match is going to blow the internet up. The excitement surrounding this quarterfinal extends beyond the court, so I need to speak with the ardent Coco Gauff supporters as well as the Eala army. It's taking place in the stands. It is occurring in the comment sections as well as across the tennis community worldwide. For months, you Eala supporters have been reminding the tennis establishment that Alexandra had a talent that will last a lifetime. She persevered through the lower-level competitions, as you saw. Her careful footwork was evident to you. When you saw that she had an exceptionally high tennis IQ, you surrounded her with unwavering support. The commentators laughed it off saying she didn't have the raw power to compete with the heavy hitters, but you willed her into this moment. And to the Coco supporters, you have seen your kid, since she was 15, bear the unbelievably oppressive burden of American tennis expectations. You have seen her persevere through mechanical crises, coaching changes, and swing adjustments. And you've seen her prevail in tough, ugly contests based only on her incredible athleticism and spirit. Center court will become an incredible pressure cooker because of the enthusiasm that these two fan bases provide. The atmosphere will be so dense that a knife could cut through it when these two emerge from the tunnel. This isn't only a quarterfinal. For the sport, this is a cultural moment. We must honestly examine the enormous, obvious crisis that is now occurring on Coco Gauff's side of the net in order to comprehend why this particular clash is likely to fundamentally upend the tactical basis of contemporary tennis. I have been following Coco's statistics throughout the season, and what I see is a girl whose mechanical serving game is absolutely failing and who is only surviving on her incredible athleticism and unyielding conceit. We must be honest about this. Coco Gauff has been putting himself in danger by performing a heinous act of double fault. In a single match, we have seen her hit 12 and sometimes 16 double faults. I want you to really comprehend the psychological torment that would befall her. In her own serving motion, she is totally absorbed. She is consistently, inevitably, depending on a weak, apprehensive second serve since her first serve percentage has been in the pitiful low 40s. Her free points are bleeding. Without ever swinging a racket, she is deliberately giving her opponents full games. A player like that would be blasted off the floor in less than an hour in any other environment. However, this is Coco Gauff's utterly horrifying contradiction and the reason she won a Grand Slam title. She refuses to die even though she has a service motion that is actively working against her. With her back against the wall, she just wins the baseline rallies because she has this scary, cold-blooded clutch element. Coco wins by dragging her opponents into a chaotic, messy, ugly street fight. In essence, she says, "All right, my serve is terrible. I'll run you into the ground as soon as the ball enters play, even if I'm handing you free points." No woman on the globe covers the court as quickly as she does. Mathematically impossible balls are retrieved by her. When the pressure is on, she uses her athletic intimidation, defensive prowess, and physical force to defeat players. Her whole strategy is based on the knowledge that her opponents would ultimately get frightened, tense, and collapse from the extreme physical strain of attempting to strike a clean winner past her. The ultimate survivor is Coco. As an apex predator, she is particularly deadly when injured. However, we must now search the internet. Given her present mechanical condition, we must examine the greatest tactical nightmare Coco Gauff may possibly encounter. We must discuss Alexandra Eala. Alexandra Eala is the calculating, icy, and highly brilliant basic assassin if Coco Gauff is the ultimate chaotic survivor. Alexandra Eala is not to be intimidated by you. The tedious, grinding baseline exchange is her total dominion, so you can't pull her into a frenzied street brawl and expect her to fear. Throughout the competition, we have seen Eala thoroughly destroy seasoned, very tactical veterans without using a single ace. No free points. Every point she wins is a Lungurning masterclass in point creation, heavy top spin, and complete physical stamina, which befits the mental and physical discipline she demands. She willingly sacrifices the sport's simplest weapon by playing the game on the maximum difficulty level, but she still suffocates her opponents. The statistical collision occurs at this point. The outcome of the match will be determined here. Eala's second serve victory rates have been insane, mathematically impossible. Over 70% of her second serve points have been won by her. She has created an impregnable fortress out of the most vulnerable shot in tennis. I'm sitting here wondering what happens when Alexandra Eala's unrelenting, unconcerned baseline consistency meets Coco Gauff's flawed, wildly erratic service game. Coco Gauff is going straight into a wood chipper if she plays center court and believes she can dish out a dozen double faults and still win the game from the baseline. Punishing inconsistency is the foundation of Eala's whole strategy. The Eala army is going to shout when Coco fails to make that first serve. Eala is about to take a bold stride inside the baseline with no fear whatsoever as the stadium trembles. Coco's anxious second serves will be taken much too soon by her, depriving the American of valuable reaction time and forcing her to make difficult strokes on the dead run. If Eala does not go for crazy low percentage winners, she hits heavy, deep, violently spinning balls that slowly drain the life and the confidence out of the player across the net. The tiny, undetectable margins of mental combat will determine the outcome of this thrilling quarterfinal. Who swings the hardest forehand is not the point. When the score is tied at 5-all in the third set, the question is who blinks first. Coco Gauff thrives on being the alpha. When she hunts down a drop shot and rips a passing shot down the line, she feeds off the dread in her opponent's eyes. On Tuesday, however, Coco will not see dread when she peers over the net. If a 30-shot rally is required to win the point, she will see Eala quietly bouncing the ball, totally unconcerned by Coco's pace, and prepared to hit it. When Coco Gauff throws the ball up for a second serve at 30-40, imagine the oppressive strain she feels knowing that Eala will not miss the return if she misses by a single inch. It will feel as if Coco's arm weighs 1,000 pounds. She is aware that she cannot depend on free points and that Eala will gladly take in all of the pace that Coco gives her. Coco's patience will be put to the test by Eala. She will put her cardiovascular fitness to the test, but more significantly, she will put her utter sanity to the test. By just refusing to miss, we have seen Eala defeat veterans in 7 straight games. We could see a systematic clinical deconstruction of the American superstar if she gets into Coco's head early and earns 1 or 2 early breaks of service due to Coco's double faults. However, we must also not undervalue a champion's heart. Coco Gauff has already visited these gloomy, scary locations. She has lost a set and a break, battled the crowd and her own serve, but she has managed to dig her fingernails into the ground and get herself back up. The whole aspect of the match changes if Coco can somehow establish a rhythm on her first serve and land 60 or 70% of her initial deliveries. She will suddenly be pushed backwards. Coco will be back with all the venom. Thus Eala's lack of aces suddenly becomes a huge problem. Coco will have the advantage if she can make this a match just about sprinting and explosive power. Will Coco's mechanics be able to withstand the constant pressure of Eala's baseline game? Will Coco attempt to stop the points too soon and start throwing unforced mistakes over the net? Or will she panic and accept the fact that she must play lengthy rallies? I am going crazy about this matchup because of this. The contrast of styles is ideal. It pits Alexandra Eala's exacting, very precise baseline geometry against Coco Gauff's raw, unrestrained, and sometimes anarchic athletic talent. The media is frantically trying to sell you a story of American supremacy. However, it is obvious from the raw statistics and underlying mathematics that this is a coin flip given how these two ladies really play tennis at the moment. The ideal scientifically created kryptonite for a player who has trouble with mechanical consistency is Coa. Aces are not necessary for her. Cheap points are not necessary for her. All she needs is her racket, a baseline, and her supporters' unflinching scream. However, the ultimate wild card is Coco Gauff. Statistics don't apply to her. She destroys the models. When the odds are against her, she prevails. For each of them, this is the precise point at which possibility becomes absolute actuality. Entire seasons are defined by this contest. The match will gradually but surely devolve into a tedious tactical chess battle if Eala can withstand the opening assault and the first 4 or 5 games, during which Coco comes out shooting on sheer adrenaline and anxious energy. Additionally, the player who commits the fewest unforced mistakes often wins the prize in a tactical chess tournament. As we get closer to this huge clash, I want to know precisely how each of these fan communities are feeling. Are you all anxious? Do you really think that Coco's serving issue will be revealed by Eala's baseline dominance? Or do you believe the young star will be unable to cope with Coco's superior pace and Grand Slam experience? How loud will it be when Coco survives a breakpoint with a huge forehand winner, or when Eala blasts her maiden passing shot? Right now, I need you to pour your energy, your tactical analysis, and your predictions into the comments area. Demonstrate to the YouTube algorithm the size and commitment of this tennis community. Do you believe that Eala will try to force the unforced mistakes by focusing on Coco's forehand? Or will she just attack every second serve that crosses the net with vigor? Will Coco be able to correct her throw in time, in your opinion? Or will she once again be forced to depend only on her defense? Describe in detail how you anticipate this thrilling quarterfinal to unfold. To ensure that everyone sees the truth about this clash before the broadcast networks attempt to spin it, make sure you use the like button to push this unfiltered, data-driven analysis to the top of the stream. Now go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Activate those alerts. The tennis world is utterly unprepared for the statistical abnormality that is about to occur. So grab some snacks, organize your calendar, and get ready for a full-on battle on center court as Alexandra Eala and Coco Gauff take the court. I'll see you all for the live, unscripted post-match analysis as soon as the last point is scored.